It's 3 a.m. You're staring at the ceiling. Your phone is face down beside you because you already know checking it will only make this worse. Your brain is wide awake. But here's the strange part. This exact moment, this jolt into consciousness in the middle of the night, is older than fire, older than language. It may be one of the oldest habits your body has. Let's go back. Not centuries, hundreds of thousands of years. Picture the world before shelter, before walls, before a locked door. Your ancestors slept on open ground or in shallow caves, surrounded by a landscape that wanted to eat them. Lions hunted at night, hyenas hunted at night. Every rustle in the grass carried real weight. So what would happen to a species that slept too deeply, too continuously, for too many hours in a row? It wouldn't survive long enough to pass that trait on. What if the very thing keeping you awake tonight is a survival mechanism that simply never got the memo that the lions are gone? Sleep researcher Jerome Siegel wanted to test this idea directly. So instead of studying lab volunteers, he studied people still living the way ancient humans did. His team tracked 3 hunter-gatherer societies, the Hadza of Tanzania, the San of Namibia, and the Tsimane of Bolivia, groups whose environment and daily rhythm sit closer to Paleolithic life than anything in a modern city. Siegel expected long, unbroken, deeply restful sleep, something close to what a sleep clinic would prescribe. What he found instead was different. These communities slept less than most people assume, often under 7 hours a night, with frequent brief wakings throughout. And here's the detail that matters most. The concept of insomnia, as a disorder, as something wrong with you, essentially didn't exist in their vocabulary. Waking in the dark wasn't failure, it was Tuesday. Why would a body evolved for danger ever fully let its guard down? Anthropologists studying ancient sleep architecture point to a built-in watch shift, a natural rhythm of lighter and deeper sleep cycling through the night, so that at least part of a sleeping group was always close to alert. One person's brain surfaces, scans the dark, listens, drops back under. Multiply that across a small band of 20 or 30 people sleeping near a fire, and you get something remarkable. A group that is never fully unconscious all at once. Waking at 3 a.m. wasn't a bug in the system. It was the system. There's evidence this pattern didn't vanish with prehistory either. It just went quiet. Historian A. Roger Ekirch traced fragments of it forward into pre-industrial life, finding written references to a period of nighttime wakefulness sandwiched between 2 phases of sleep, still described casually, like something everyone simply understood. The deep architecture never left. It only got buried under a few centuries of candlelight, then buried further under gaslight, then buried almost completely under the electric bulb. Because here's the real turning point, and it isn't biology, it's artificial light. As soon as humans could push back darkness with a flick of a switch, bedtime crept later and later, and the natural gap in the middle of the night got compressed out of existence. Nights that once stretched 12 dark hours in winter shrank down to whatever slice fit between the last scroll on a phone and the next morning's alarm. Your body's ancient rhythm didn't disappear, it just lost the space it used to live in. So what did that ancient wakeful hour actually feel like, back before it had anywhere to go? Not panic, not a racing mind rehearsing tomorrow's failures. For someone sleeping under open sky next to a low fire, the middle of the night was simply a second, quieter shift of consciousness, alert but calm, watching without fear, because watching was the job. There was no clock to check, no number to be disappointed by, just darkness, breath, and the low sound of the fire settling. Now think about what you do the instant you wake at 3 a.m. You check the time. You calculate how many hours of sleep you have lost. You reach for a glowing screen that floods your eyes with the exact wavelength of light your ancestors' bodies read as sunrise. Every one of those actions tells a 200,000-year-old nervous system that danger, or day, has arrived, and it responds accordingly, with alertness, with cortisol, with a mind that will not slow down. Neuroscientist Matthew Walker, who has spent decades researching sleep at UC Berkeley, describes this exact spiral, where the fear of being awake becomes the very thing that keeps you awake. Your ancestor by the fire never had this loop. She had darkness, she had her group around her, and she had no reason to believe anything had gone wrong. Is it possible the waking itself was never the problem? What if the problem is everything modern life trained you to do the moment your eyes open in the dark? Every ancient human who ever startled awake at this hour was met with silence, low firelight, and the shapes of people she trusted, breathing nearby. You are met with a bright rectangle telling you it's 3:14 a.m., and a to-do list your brain immediately starts assembling out of nowhere. There's something almost steadying in realizing how old this moment actually is. Long before agriculture, before cities, before the wheel, a body very much like yours was doing this exact thing, in the dark, night after night, for 100,000 generations. It wasn't a glitch to be fixed. It was a rhythm to be lived inside of, the same way breathing is a rhythm, the same way a heartbeat is. So the next time you open your eyes at 3 a.m., heart just slightly quickened, mind suddenly clear in the dark, consider this. You are not failing at sleep. You are running software written for a savanna on hardware that hasn't caught up to streetlights, screens, or 8-hour alarms. Your ancestors didn't fight this hour. They simply lived inside it, listening until sleep pulled them back under on its own. It's 3 a.m. You're staring at the ceiling, and somewhere behind your eyes, 100,000 generations are doing exactly what they were built to do.